Okay, let's do problem number 2. So distance across the river. Find the distance across a river. A surveyor chooses points A and B, which are 200 feet apart. So a surveyor is standing right here, and they pick 2 points A and B that are 200 feet apart. She then uses a reference point C on the opposite side of the river. So let's see, and finds that the angle BAC is 82 degrees and ABC is 52 degrees. Approximate the distance from A to C. So we're trying to find this little b. So that's the one that we want to find, right? So we've got angle A, angle B, angle C, A, B, C. So this is going to be little c. I know that little c is 200. Angle C, I don't know yet, but angle A is 82 degrees. Angle B is 52 degrees. So that's all I'm given. So right now, if I look at it, it looks like and I'm trying to find little b. So as of now, it looks like I do not have an angle side pair, but you know that all these have to sum to 180. So 82, 52 is 134. Take 180 minus 134. It's 6 to 40. So that's 46 degrees. So it's going to be 46 degrees. And so now we've got an angle side pair. And you can say, since angle side pair, comma, use law of sines. So we're going to use the law of sines. So I know that the sine of C over C, it better be equal to, and I use that because that's my known angle side pair. I'm going to do the sine of B over B because B is what I'm looking for. So this is going to be the sine of 46 degrees over 200 is equal to the sine of 52 degrees over I don't know. Now, I can cross multiply and get that 200 is 200 sine of 52 is equal to B times the sine of 46. In other words, B is equal to 200 sine of 52 divided by the sine of 46. So my calculator over here, 200 times the sine of 52 gives us this. I'm going to divide that by the sine of 46, and you get B is approximately equal to 218.82 what? Feet? Yes, feet. This many feet. And so their question was distance from A to C. So distance from A to C is approximately whatever we said it was, 218. 218.82 feet. Done. And there's your answer. Okay. All right, one more for these applied problems. You've got a couple of airports. So airport A and B are 300 miles away. There's our 300. That means that the distance between those things is nice and 300. A pilot wishing to fly from A to B, so on that straight yellow path, mistakenly flies due east 200 miles an hour for 30 minutes. Well, he's fired, or she. 200 miles an hour for 30 minutes. Well, if you go 200 miles every hour, and you end up going a half of an hour, right? Times 1/2 of an hour, right? Those cancel out. And you end up getting 100 miles, which is kind of dirt. Yeah, okay. So that's 100 miles when it was a he, notices this error. How far is the pilot from his destination at the time he notices the error? So in other words, what is this length right here? So we're going to call that airport A, this airport B, and he better see himself to a new place of employment. We'll call that C. So they're wanting to know what is, we're going to call that little a because it's across from angle A. And we're going to call this B because it's across from angle B. Call this C because it's across from side C. So I think I should make my chart. Angle A, angle B, angle C. I've got A, B, C. Let's see. So if this is 90 and this is 50, I guess this has to be 40 inside here. So it's 40 degrees. So if that's 40 degrees, its angle A is 40 degrees. Okay. Is that all I know? So that's 40 degrees, and then C is 300, and B is 100 miles. So it looks like I do not have an angle side pair, so I'm going to solve for A. So no angle side pair. So we're looking for how far did they go before they noticed the error? So how far is the pilot from the destination? So in other words, how big is this when he recognized it? So we're going to find that A. So since we have no angle side pair, we're going to use the law of cosines. Law of cosines. So law of cosines, since I want to know A and I know angle A, I'm going to use this cosine of 40 degrees. I'm going to put an A over here. And I'm going to do a B squared plus C squared. That would be correct if it was right, but it's not. So I do minus 2BC because it is not a right triangle. So if I do the cosine of 40 over here, B is 100, C is 300, and there's a 2 here. B is, again, 100. C is 300. So now I'm ready to use my calculator over here. So 100 squared, as you know, is 10,000. It's this one with 4 zeros. And then plus, well, 300 squared is going to be 9 with 4 zeros. Like so. 9 with 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. And then I'm going to take 2 times 100 times 300, 2 times 100 times 300. That should give us 6 with 4 zeros. And it does, because all is right with the world. 6 with 4 zeros. Cosine of 40 degrees is equal to the A squared I want. So now I start combining things. When I add these two together, that's 90,000 plus 10,000 is 100,000 minus 60,000 cosine of 40 is equal to A squared. So I guess I take 100, 1, 2, 3, minus 60, 1, 2, 3, times the cosine. Let me go back to mode. Let me make sure it's in degree mode. Degree mode, now I do the cosine of 40. So I do the cosine of 40 is that A squared is approximately equal to 54,037 plus and some crap. So to find out my answer, I do the square root of the last answer in the calculator. So I do second square root of the second last answer in the calculator. I get that A is approximately equal to 232.46, and it's that many miles. So it turns out that he was about 200 and 32.46 miles away from where he should be when he realized what the heck was going on. So now it wants to know what bearing should he head. So what bearing should he head? Well, that bearing is going to be this little angle right here. So what bearing should he head? We know it's going to be north, but a little bit east. So the way to think about that is, oh cool. So what we can do is we can say that that little bearing, you can think about it as being all of this angle C, which you're going to subtract out this 90 degrees. And what's left over is going to be our bearing. So again, we're going to find angle C, subtract 90, and that will leave our bearing. Okay, so I just found out that A is 232.46, but now I want to know angle C. So to find angle C, I think I can use the law of cosines again to find angle C. So using the law of cosines again, let me move this over a little bit. You guys move over this way. So to find that, I want to know angle C, so I'm going to say the cosine of C. Put C squared over here. It should be A squared plus B squared if it was a right triangle, but it's not. So we add in our correction factor of minus 2A, okay, 2AB cosine C. So C squared is 300, A squared is 232.46 squared, plus B is 100 squared, minus 2 times 232.46 times, what did we say B was? 100, then times the cosine of C. So I'll show you on the calculator. That's 300 times 300 is going to be 9 with 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. 232.46 squared is going to be 54,037.6516 plus 100 squared is going to be 1 with 4 zeros. 1 with 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. Just a little bit. And if I take, let's see, 2 times 23246 times 100 equals, it's going to be minus 46492 cosine of C. So now, just like before, we solve for the cosine of C. So if I add these numbers together, it's going to be 64,037.6516 minus 46492 cosine C. Okay, now subtract. So we get 90, 1, 2, 3, 90,000 minus 64,037.6516 equal to, oh, that can't be right. Can't be right. Let's get positive. No, that can be right. That can be right. Sorry. So that's going to be 25962.3484 negative 46492 cosine of C. Now we divide both sides by that number or coefficient in front of the cosine of C. So I take the last answer and I divide by negative 46492. I get negative 0.55842 and some stuff. So then I take to find C, I'm just going to take the cosine inverse of the last answer on the calculator. So I'm going to hit second cosine for cosine inverse. And then second answer, I'm going to end up getting 123.95 degrees approximately. So what does that mean? That means up here, this big angle is 123.95. So if I subtract out 90 degrees of it, what's left over is going to be that little angle. So subtract out 90 degrees, and you're going to get a 33.95 is what this angle is right there. So our bearing from where you stopped when you realized you were going the wrong way is going to be north, but a little bit east. So our bearing is north, but 33.95 degrees east. Awesome. Cool, so that's one where you had to use the law of cosines twice. So there's some good practice using that. Now, the last one that we will do is solving the sides of solving a triangle, right? So we've actually got two of these. So first, imagine, let's do this one first. Imagine that says the sides of a triangle are, let's go bloop, bloop, bloop. This is 12, so it's 5, 8, and 12. So A is 5, so this must be A. B is 8, so this must be big B. And C is 12. Let's just solve the triangle. So I go angle A, angle B, angle C. I go A, B, C. A is equal to 5. B is equal to 8. C is equal to 12. So let's see. Angle A. So it seems like I don't know any of these, but I need to find all the angles. So since I have no angle side pair, that means you are going to use law of cosines. So first I'm going to find angle A. So angle A would be what? That means I'm going to put A over here and A squared over here. So it's going to be B squared plus C squared minus 2BC. So cosine of I don't know, and just start putting in stuff. So it's 5 squared, 8 squared, 12 squared, minus 2, 8, and 12. So now the only thing left to solve for is the cosine of A. So what happens? I guess this is 25 is equal to 64 plus 144 minus 2 times 8 times 12 in a hurry is 192. Okay. So then these two added together are going to be 208, just to double check to make sure that I'm not totally asleep, is equal to 25. And then there's this. So then you subtract, and 25 minus 208 gives you negative 183. It's equal to 192 cosine of A. So A is equal to cosine of A. Cosine of A is equal to 183 divided by negative 192. So 183 divided by 192 is, thank goodness, less than 1. So the cosine of A is approximately equal to 0.953. But to get a more exact answer, I'll take the cosine inverse of my last answer. So I take second cosine inverse of my last answer. I get A is approximately 17.6 degrees. So A is approximately 17.6. Come up here. Oh, poop. It's approximately 17.6. I can do the exact same process and find angle B. Let's do that now. So now I'm going to say the cosine of b, and I'm going to put b squared on the other side of the equal sign, and it's going to be minus 2ac. So this is going to be 8 squared is equal to 5 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 512 cosine b. 64, 25, 144 is 169. This is minus 10 and 12 is 120. Cosine of b. So now subtract 169 from both sides, and yes, it's minus 105. And then you divide and just get 105 over 120 is the cosine of b. So to find out what b is, we just take the cosine inverse of 105 over 120. So when I do that, I do second cosine. So cosine inverse of second, no, don't do second, of what, 105 divided by 120. Make sure you close parentheses. And you get approximately 28.96 degrees. 28.96. So if this is 28.96,
what would you like to distill?
what was so?
No, I haven't looked into that because.
So if I rounded that all the way up, it would be 29 degrees. So 17.6 plus 29 is 44.6. So 180 minus 44.6 is 135.4 degrees. So that would be our triangle that we have solved for. Okay. All right. So now let's say that I have a triangle not drawn to scale. A is 43.1. I'm asked to solve it. Little a is 186.2. Let me call this B. So B is 248.6. C, and I don't know what C is. So first thing I would do be to draw a chart. So angle A is 43.1 degrees. Little a is 186.2 degrees. 248.6. B is I don't know. C is I don't know, and C is I don't know. Okay. So I'm trying to solve this triangle. I guess I can use the law of sines. So I could say the sine of I don't know over 240. Okay. So since I know A, I'm going to say the sine of A over A, since that is my angle side pair. And I will say angle side pair implies law of sines.
What kind of common things we could grow? You could be
Sine of B over B. This can be a sine of 43.1 over 186.2 is equal to the sine of what? I don't know, over 248.6. So now you just multiply both sides by 248.6. And so you get that the sine of B is equal to 248.6 sine 43.1 over 186.2. And so what is that? Let's go with 248.6 times sine of 0.1. You get an answer and divide it by 186.2. So you get the sine of B is approximately equal to 0.9122 and some stuff. So I take sine inverse to the last answer. Now I'm going to get B. Sine inverse, the last answer. Is that So B is approximately 65.8 degrees. Right? And I will finish this in just a little bit.